Fresh Art International presents conversations about creativity in the 21st century.
Sou advogado. Eu decoro com sorrisos.
Hello, I'm Kathy Bird with Fresh Art International. Today we're taking you to the heart of São Paulo, Brazil, where late one night in September, I come upon a young couple wearing shrunken party clothes and skull masks. They're dancing to strange music on a street corner behind the Municipal Theater. I recognize the American artist William Pope.L standing nearby and realize that at last I've found Baile, or Ball, the performance art project he created for the 32nd São Paulo Biennial. Baile is a theatrical piece based on Pope.L's research into recent political frictions and social inequalities in Brazil. Pope.L is best known for the social commentary of his endurance projects. Earlier in his career, he performed Solo, a series of crawls along the streets of New York City. Baile is collaborative. Similar to Pull in Cleveland, Ohio, and Blink in New Orleans, the performance involves locals and takes place over several days, winding its way through neighborhoods. In São Paulo, 3 pairs of professional dancers take 8-hour shifts to perform 24 hours a day for 4 days. They walk and dance along a mapped-out route at the heart of the city. Festa de Debutante, the traditional coming-out party for young women in Brazil, inspires their costumes. They carry their soundtrack with speakers in a small backpack. 2 attendants dressed in white hoodies marked with black skull and crossbones follow a few steps behind. I joined Pope.L to shadow the last hours of the shift that will end at midnight. Together we trace a path through the urban landscape beneath the night sky.
It's an endurance. It crosses a lot of geographical areas in the city, poor, rich, high-rise, just regular residential. Trying to explore the city, trying to give a sense of the landscape, present it to people perhaps who've never seen this kind of work. There's a lot of people who've made this happen, just like with the project in New Orleans.
What motivated this project in particular?
Festa de Debutante is like a coming out. And Brazil politically is going through certain throes or issues. It's a young democracy. It's trying to find its way. At the moment, some people are very unhappy with the current situation with Michel Temer. And this text that you're hearing, this man who's speaking, he's a very funny guy, Ciro. He's talking about this unhappiness with Temer and how the children of Brazil, the children of São Paulo, are unhappy with his impeachment of Dilma Rousseff. Their adult bodies in children's clothing. The politics currently has that kind of character to it, of adults playing out a set of roles for ends that are, in many cases, seems to be nefarious. It seems like their interests are not about the people of Brazil. I mean, you find that, of course, at home. Some people say that certain folk are like that at home as well. People have compared Temer to Trump or Kaczynski in Poland. So
I can see that. There's
yes.
a skull thing going here.
Oh, yeah, death is
Pope.L.
everywhere.
Death is everywhere.
And also the sense of an unknown, because your certainty, your sense of your community has gone awry in some way, in some serious way. And you're trying to clarify that. So death doesn't always have to mean the end. It can simply mean the unknown.
Change.
Or change with a dark edge to it. Brazil still has a lot of strong social programs, unlike some in the United States, and those Temer has, in certain ways, threatened those programs, and many of these people rely on those things. So I think that sense of certainty that people in Brazil have had, well, that's being questioned, and for reasons that are not clear to them.
That's why this piece fits perfectly with the theme of the biennial.
Uncertainty.
Living uncertainty.
Yes.
Tell me about the gestures, their choreography.
Some of these actions you would see at rallies or
Definitely.
At the manifestations, they call them here.
Yes.
The protests.
And there have been those protests in the Biennial Pavilion this week. And the gestures and the words, yes, it's quite reflective of what I've been seeing.
The police and how they react with their shields, how they bang their shields, almost like African warriors. They bang their shields and they approach. They form a line like Roman soldiers, and as they approach you, they bang their shields, almost like they're flushing the animals from the bush. Only, of course, it's much louder and more threatening. It's a mixture of some of the gestures you see in Festa de Debutante and this protest manifestation actions. And it switches back and forth, almost from the political to the romantic and back.
What has been the public response?
Curiosity. It's an interesting city, São Paulo. Some people yell. Some of it I don't understand, but it's been translated for me. Some man was talking about, there's my parents. So for some, the Festa de Debutante is an outmoded form of coming of age. This is a extreme version. That's why his little pants. This comes from actually, I got the idea of countries having a civil function of parenting.
And leaders acting like children.
Yes, and then the citizens acting out or, simply bowing under and doing as they're told.
O Brasil de hoje. Meus filhos dançam, e dançam, e dançam, e dançam, até que seus pés viram barro.
The performance makes a loop inside the city, taking the same path each day.
Part of it is the cyclical nature of human. How do you say? It suggests more meaning because it has now a structure.
What environments were you seeking to cross through?
Working class neighborhoods, neighborhoods that are more, in quote, run down. Gated neighborhoods, of which there are many here. Neighborhoods where there are people who just are hanging out in plazas. Neighborhoods where people are just doing their daily business, like Avenue Paulista is like that. Tons and tons of people, most of the times of day. You sort of wade your way through it. And there are certain streets here where people are elbow to elbow and there's vehicles like 2 inches from you. So there's very dense, hilly neighborhoods and you have to fight your way through. And there are some that are just very spacious.
Um golpe! Azar de vocês, seus bocós! Um golpe! Um golpe! O que foi que eu fiz? Um golpe?
Pope.L wrote the lyrics for the soundtrack. 2 hours long, the track features a male voice alternating with an atmospheric musical composition designed to transcend the big city soundscape. We cross through the edge of the Paulista district. It's a quiet night. We pass 2 outdoor homeless communities and a bar playing 80s rap music for a few customers. Once we pause for a fleet of nocturnal cyclists. What kind of memories does this bring back to you, watching them endure? You didn't have shifts of people. It was just you.
It's just me. That's why in some ways I guess the intrepidness of them, I never thought of myself that way. But I see it in them.
The whole world saw you that way.
Maybe a little protective of their energy. These guys are incredible. I mean, I know what it's like to do this.
I'm Kathy Bird. I was privileged to record this Fresh Art International podcast episode with American artist William Pope.L during opening days of the 32nd São Paulo Biennial. Pope.L worked with a team to achieve Baile, a remarkable 4-day endurance project that empathizes with recent political theatrics in Brazil. Whether performing solo or staging collaborations, the artist remains true to his historic commitment to public performance art. William Pope.L comments on issues of power and privilege, bringing his commentary to the streets for all to encounter. Visit freshartinternational.com to learn more about his art and hear the episode I recorded with Pope.L at Prospect, New Orleans. Please take a few minutes to rate and review this podcast. You'll find more than 100 episodes on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Android, Google Music Play, and Public Radio Exchange. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned for more conversations about creativity.